I went to Drago's last night. Wow, food was great. And I got this when I was there. Okay? And I got it signed. I got it signed by Joshua Sheets, and you'll have no idea who that is. He's the statistician that determines an NFL draft who you pick for the team. I know him since the day he was born, and he's my nephew. So I made sure I got to see him last night, and I'm actually giving this to a lady in Boca who is an avid New Orleans Saint fan, and she wanted his autograph. So I said, he doesn't play football. She said, I don't care. It's something from the team. So I said, okay, they're fanatic. Now, how many of you have ever used Max Force? Okay. I headed up the research team that developed that. My first reaction to it was, when they wanted to do it, is baits don't work. German roaches, you can't get them to eat a bait. They said to me, do you want to do the research or don't you? I said, no, I do, but I just want you to know the chances are very, very, very slight. And we did those tests in the early days at the college where I taught, and some of the students helped me. Now, the big roach doesn't fit into those little pucks. So I came here to study American roaches. I spent one full night, all night at Tulane. I spent another full night in a mausoleum watching American roaches and measuring the height when they turn their head over to eat. So we knew what size bait station to make for them to go in. There's a science behind everything that you come out with, but you don't realize it. All right, so now it's free. I have a online. It's called Doc's Dialogue. It's put out by Syngenta. So you just Google Syngenta and Doc's Dialogue, and once a month I have an article there on the topics of pest management. And there's to say, well, is there any good that roaches do? In China, there's a factory that mass produces millions and millions of roaches to eat garbage instead of it filling the landfill. And now they're going to put three more cities and eat the organic garbage for these different things. And I had a student, Karen Romay, years ago, who came up with a fiction story like that one day. I had to call her and tell her and send the article. But they're actually, China is using roaches to eliminate food right now. So I have a very good friend in Bell Environmental, a pest control company, and he told me, he said, if you can't distinguish yourself from any other company, then the only thing you sell is price. And he distinguished himself by selecting pharmaceutical companies, certain types of commercial accounts, and using non-conventional pesticides or no pesticides at all. This is in 1970. And he's built a very, very big company. So, anybody worried we're running out of roaches? No, okay. So, a bid goes out for the city of New York. We are going to get rid of the roaches, and we're going to do this big pilot test, and we're going to spend $1.2 million in this test. That sounds good. They put the bid out to the industry, but it tells you what you have to do. is 5,000 apartments over 3 years, monthly. That's 180,000 visits. You have to do a sanitation inspection report. You have to seal some of the cracks and crevices, write reports. This comes to $6.67 an apartment. It can't be done. So two good companies call me and they're crying and they say, what should I do? Don't bid on it. You'll lose your shirt. But write a letter why it can't be and document it and give it back to them. And then you propose to do special jobs for them when they get in trouble at your price. Now, one of the ways you get around the price, I learned this from a couple of very sharp guys. There's a separate budget in commercial accounts. It's called the construction budget. So you can pull out the pest management typical chemical approach and the sealing caulk and crack and crevices and doing certain mechanical things can go under construction, where you need access ports and that type of thing. The cleaning, the sanitation, that type of thing, which is a big part of it. The other thing is that you can do it by square area. People are used to, like, if you put in carpeting in an office building, they know it costs X amount of money per square foot. And you figure out the pest control per square foot. It comes way down. So when the Navy wanted to use heat, which was expensive for roach control, they just figured out how many men, how many meals a year, what it was, and it came down to like less than a penny a meal. And the Navy said, oh yeah, that's cheap. The bid for the World's Fair, the guy that got it in New York, we're going way back, he did it on square feet. Well, you don't do pest control in the middle of a parking lot and all that. Wow, they grabbed it, they went with it. It was ESCO, Jack Hess. So there's different ways to go about this, okay? The only constant is change. And I'm just going to show you a couple things. Barnum, remember animal crackers? You can still buy them, but they took the cage off the front. You're not allowed to cage the animals. All right? And they've retired the elephants. They're in Sarasota, Florida. There's no more circuses like that. All right? These are incredible things that you think would never happen, but they do. And I could go on and on. I'm in a reasonably conservative state with the most gun permits and stand your ground and all that, but we've already banned plastic straws on all the beaches in South Florida. They showed a picture of a sea turtle with a piece of it up in its nose. And I have a PhD in ecology too, so I understand that aspect of it. There was a spider job that had to be done. They didn't want to kill the spiders. They had to collect them and move them to a different area. They left the lights, so of course what happened? Okay, right back again, all right? So, yeah. All right, so now let's transmit that over to our industry. I go to Tremblant, which is in Canada. They speak a different French there. And they give you a shirt, all right? Now, this is the front of the shirt, Tremblant, 1998. On the back, Canadians say A all the time. All right, here's a guy coming down a hill, spraying the heck out of everything. Skiing down, all right? Right? That's what you do. All right. that was the association promoting our image. So now let's transfer to the United States, and I'm not picking on this particular company, it's FMC, they're a good company. They put out a great product called Transport. All right, let me show you their shirt. Full throttle. Got a guy on a motorcycle spraying on it. It's full throttle. So if you're new in the industry, you're standing, you're looking at this and you say, what? How could this be? He was already in the industry maybe 25 years when this happened. So now, a friend of mine who passed away and was president of NPMA, and he used to be a professional advertising artist and all that, but he owned a big company. Guardians of the environment. In New York State, you're not allowed to do this. You'll get sued because you have to say guardians of our environment, being just a structure, not allowed that. And it was ICI. That is no longer ICI. It then became Zeneca, and then it became Syngenta, right? So, but that's the trend on how we're going. So when I'm talking here about pest control, yes, it's true. I go back 60 years in the industry, okay, a little over 60. This is called Safeway Roach Ribbon. I'll pass this around, and we'll start it here and go down, cross, back and forth, okay? You got a big problem. You have to just go over there, okay? And it talks about safe, sensational roach killer, saturated with 50% DDT, plus 5% Velsicol 1068. Velsicol 1068 was chlordane, okay? All right, that was it. Neither one kills roaches today, okay? Right? And that's why you're going to have such a problem with bed bugs, because the mode of action is similar in some ways to what's in that, and they already had developed resistance to DDT before. It's just a matter of quick to the pyrethroids. Okay, so now, with that type of a thinking and understanding that things change so quickly, and yet you need to know what's going on now, that's practicality, the number one way to reduce roaches from potentially exploding is reducing harborage. You can't eliminate them, but you can keep the numbers from exploding. And I did I worked with the combat people, the world's worst jobs, of which one of them was down here, by the way. Some lady had a two-headed cat in a can on her dining room table. Her house is the one that had. So it's harborage. If you reduce harborage, every animal turns on itself. Rats will eat their young, roaches will eat their young. Humans will kill each other if there's not enough food. It can be a nuclear bomb, but if you don't have, you'll attack. Okay, so on that basis, I put together, there are 3 ways to reduce harborage for German roaches. And then I'm going to give you about 6 ways for American roaches. One is to reduce clutter. So you say, well, that's hard to do. I am not as bad as the guy in that Paul showed, but I was famous for a desk that had made Claudia's desk look neat as a... When I left Farmingdale, they were going to give me a tribute, the eternal light. They were going to light my desk, and there was enough stuff there to burn forever. All right? If I knew where everything was in the piles. But one of the ways you reduce clutter, and people in housing projects understand that and so forth, you stick it in plastic bags. And it could be see-through, and it's just labeled. And what's the name of your company?
Blue Star Pest Control.
Okay, Blue Star. Protected by Blue Star. little sticker. Ah, pretty good, right? Yeah. All those toys that they have and so forth are protected by, with see-through. All right. Now, I'll give you a practical from my own house. I'm married 56 or 7 years, something like that. And I always have the last two words of my family, yes, dear. Okay? So I need a prop. And the prop I want is a plastic bag, a paper bag. And she has them shoved between the wall and the refrigerator. All right, she's got way more than she needs. So, and this is years ago because we have plastic now. Okay, I take one of them out. She said, where are you going with that? I said, I'm taking it for a talk. I gotta go. You bringing it back? I said, bringing it back? You got more than you need, but you never know when you need a paper bag. And that's when I realized you can't tell people to get rid of their paper bags. But you can put a bunch of them in plastic and tie it off, and you only have 2 or 3 that they're changing all the time, right? So you work with the psychology of the people. And cardboard is big. I grabbed from here a piece of cardboard box, and there's a cutaway of another box. You can get over 1,000 roaches just in this wind up. So cardboard, one for mice, they love it because of nesting and it's warm and all that, but roaches love it because they can line up in here. So when they do that, to line up in here, this, that's a high-rise apartment. Right? That's what you got to be thinking. So we actually took a case of beer we bought in our supermarket. We knew it had roaches. Took it, froze it, cut it open, 6,000 something roaches, German roaches in that. So you wrap it. On a submarine, we just eliminate all cardboard. You're not allowed in nuclear subs, particularly because they don't surface for 4 months, 6 months. And that's called quarantine, part of pest control. So you quarantine the cardboard. So Claudia asked me about public housing, and it's such a problem, and what are we doing? And I work with New York City Housing, Hartford Housing, Bridgeport. One of the things we do is find out where the people shop. And we go further out, and if you're in private industry, you're looking for more business, you go to those stores. You see the flow pattern of everything that's coming in. I was a chief sanitarian outside inspector for Mars candy plants. We went everywhere. We went where they finished the product and store it, where the peanuts came from, with okay, world. And boy, they're very strict. So here's their storage policy. We don't store anything unless we own 100% of the storage facility. We don't want the building. The building has to be brand new, started, and we pay the guy for 10 years to store it, and then he can use it for something else. Can you imagine that? How now, in reality, nobody is doing anything like that. So a plastic bag, cardboard, okay? I have Hess trucks. I collect Hess trucks. I save the boxes. I save the boxes in the attic. We don't have basement in Florida. We're right here, okay? What do I put those cardboard boxes in? Big plastic bag, and they tie it down because we have American roaches. Well, can't you keep American roaches out? Well, we get a hurricane every once in a while. Bam, it blows out the screens and all that, and all of a sudden, I got roaches. Okay? So that I'm proactive. So, I'm going to write this word down. Habitat modification. This is another way of telling somebody they're a slob without offending them. we're going to do some habitat modification. Plastic bags. And I have some here protected by Blue Star. Okay, right? Now, in bad neighborhoods, and when they repair radios, TVs, and that, we've got some of those set up. They come in from the apartments, they stick it right in a bag. They put it in there with some type of roach bait. I'll hold it for 3 days and then open it and take it out, work with it. Because a lot of the times, roaches is what caused the TV to go down and so forth, and that type of thing. Okay, so far we have reduced clutter, right? And we say clutter or debris, don't say crap. All right? Now, the next thing, if you physically can reduce it, you get rid of it. If not, you put it in, you bag it. Then the next is to use proper sealants. And like a seal, S-E-A-L-A-N-T-S. So there's a science to sealants. It's not caulking. The difference. Write this down. SCOPE, S-C-O-P-E. S-C-O-P-E. You can Google it. Okay, it stands for Scientific Coalition on Pest Elimination. And there's a committee that has this whole list of the type of sealants you use that can expand without cracking. Because you use the wrong stuff, it makes it worse, and the roaches start to live in it. Right? So, get a job. Reader's Digest went out of business, so I can give you the name. Reader's Digest has a bad problem. A big pest control company sends me there. I go there. I see the problem. I tell them, look, you're going to have to do this, that, but you got to seal a whole bunch of things. We don't seal. We just, all right, they're getting $200 a month for this account. I go to a former student of mine. I say, don't steal the account. You can't have it. You're only going to go in once. You're going to do the sealing. All right. He gets $2,300. Seals everything up. Walks out. Then I show the original company. Well, we don't have the people to do that. I said, you do. They even announced that they did over $3 million a year. It's uncomfortable to do something you're not used to doing. Put your hands together. Now I want you to, don't do it yet. You're going to take them apart and you're going to put them back by moving them one finger over. Go ahead. You got to think about this. Don't fit in right. It's not right. Sealing, vacuuming, this is not, oh, it's so heavy, I'm going to carry this. Are you kidding? I don't have room in the truck. Da, da, da. Imagine in New York City, they have no vehicles. So you know how they got them doing now? They got a truck with the stuff, and they go down the street and they drop it off for this clean out, they drop it off for that clean out, they drop it off for that clean out. There's no place to park. It's $23 an hour. Park a car in Manhattan. So you have to do other things. Okay, the next thing is ways to reduce harborage for American roaches, because that's your big ones here. Paraplaneta, you got smoky browns, Americans, and so forth. All right, one of them is door sweeps. Now, how do I know these things? Because I do one of the things that our industry doesn't like to do, go at night and sit and watch. So my grandson is a mechanical engineer. He's going to be working for Pepsi. I'm very proud of him. He gets an internship with some company while he's still in school. Through a friend, I get him free rent for the summer in a cottage built in 1820. It's raised off the ground just like you got here. All your houses are up, and he's got American roaches. He moves in, and he got his smartphone, and he goes, well, he said, he calls me Zadie. Zadie, I don't know which to do first, to go for the lizard that's in the sink or get for the roaches. So I go up, I mail them up a bunch of sticky traps, knowing that sticky traps don't work that well for American roaches. All right, they don't. And what I do, and you can do this with food, any kind of, the regular sticky traps are not going to work, okay, like that. Very poor for roaches. I send him bigger ones. I put a little bit of food on them, and I get a fan. Let's see if I can find it on the missile. I'm the only person that's been known to move into a room within 5 minutes and look like he lived here his whole life. I have a battery fan, and you just put the food on the glue board, you put that behind it, and they come running. You do that in the ceiling, suspended ceiling. Oh yeah, okay. So I have him do that. Get him a couple fans, do that. He calls me up, he says, Zadie, they're coming from outside. He said, they're right coming under the door. He put a bunch there. So then I go up to it. So my wife says, we have to go up and do control. I look at her, I go, what you mean we, white man? I said, all right, yes dear, we go. So we get up there around noon. Okay, Zadie, let's get to work. No. First we go eat, then we relax. We wait till it's going to get dark. Because he also had a few paper wasps. 50-something nests around the outside. So red filter, knock those out. Different talk. I take the flashlight at night, and I see the roaches coming out from under the raised part of it. They're just coming in under the door. So you can take something as simple as a Venetian blind, one of the slats, and put it on the bottom, drill, and put it in. But Excluder, it's a company that has stuff for pest management, pest proofing, has different door sweeps, all kinds, for rats, for roaches, and so forth. And that's pest proofing, habitat modification. How about that, right? And you hire a couple people to do that. All right. Trim the trees. Clean the trees, okay? Oh, we don't do that. Get it? All right, next. Repair screening. The soffits, screen holes, that kind of stuff. Next is to pick up debris in the garage and the sheds around the outside. That's where they're hanging out. That's where they put capsules and so forth. All right. The next is to use sewer caps. Now this is a different type. This is in buildings. You're thinking of the house. Let's see where my sewer cap is. Here it is. I'll pass this around, like it back. You can get it at Home Depot, maybe Lowe's, Plumbing Supply. This is a 3-inch QWIK cap. In the apartment buildings, they have to clean the sewer out. they like to leave it open and just have when it plugs up, they can do it. Well, when a high tide comes, full moons, heavy rains, choom, bam, the roaches just come running up there, and the rats like crazy. New York City, we got 2 rivers, high tide every month, calls start coming in, roaches. They charge and they install these. It's a pest control company, New York City, called Assured Environment. All right, pass that around, write that down. And by the way, this becomes your idea. And then you go to the customer, and they may say no. And then something happens, and then they say yes. And you give them the proposal on it. All right? The next one is air vents. There's a company called Temp Vent that makes air vents. And I think Air Vent bought Temp Vent or something when the guy passed away. And they're a vent that you stick in the attic of a building with a fan, and it blows air through there. It does 2 things. It cuts the air conditioning bill, and it drives American cockroaches nuts. They dehydrate. Now, they dehydrate much quicker than German roaches. Let me explain why. German roaches are fuzzy. They like to go like this, and they like to go up against each other, and they like to go in cracks where the air movement doesn't go. American roaches need to be out in the open. They need to be up high so they can push off and fly. And these vents blow that air through there, and then they can't take it. Right. Right? And it's called air vent. You can, I guess you got down here, Olam, Univar, who else you have? The main ones, whatever, should carry that. Now, every one of those are business opportunities. And if you're big enough, you'll hire a carpenter or a small company, repair company, and do that. Okay, so now, I always have I have philosophy, it's called. My philosophy on just combating roaches, fighting them. All right, so this, number 1, out of sight, out of reach, out of mind, out of control. You can't get to it, you can't see it, you don't think about it, and then you don't get control. So that you have to think in voids, what's going on in hollow spaces. This company, Bell Environmental, uses electric saws and cuts holes in walls and commercial accounts, installs fancy sections so they can get in to where the roaches are. Work with plumbers. All right, the next one, it's no disgrace to have roaches, it's just a disgrace to keep them. So anybody can get them. I mean, I've had them in my house. I do no spraying outside whatsoever, none. And maybe in 18 years, 4 times I've had roaches come in. I'll tell you what I do later, okay? Next is roaches come from roaches, not clutter. So the amazing thing is with the baits today, and there are 4 or 5 just excellent ones, we'll talk about them at the end when I'm doing, you can get rid of the roaches and they can still be slobs. And that is absolutely amazing. And here is the reason why. I live in a very fancy area, gated community, and the community watches me to see what I wear next. So when I bicycle, and they see me coming this way, they're very happy. Turn it around, they don't understand what this is. It says, culpa fagi and die. Culpa fagi and die. So they ask you, Austin, what does that mean? And in my finest French, I explained to them, eat shit and die. That's what it means. Culpa fagi means you eat poop. So the teeny little roaches, when they come out, the nymphs when they merge, they have to eat the poop from the bigger roaches because they don't have the fauna in their gut to digest, just like termites do, okay? And they're similar evolving. So here's what happens. I'll give you the numbers later, but nymphs go very little. They only walk 6 inches out, 8 inches, and the larger nymphs further and further. It's the bigger ones that are getting to eat the bait first. And they come back to these little spots to hide and they poop. It's got the bait in it. The Advion, the Max Force, Avert. Now, so you're not any better than you were before. You never could find all the roaches. They carry it in their poop and they take it and they feed it to the other. You see that? Now let me tell you how I discovered that. Serendipitously, which means I had no idea what I was doing. We discovered that accidentally. Accidentally. Yeah. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. But this is the first tube of Max Force ever made. The first tube, and it said, it doesn't have the APA, it's American Cyanamide had it in those days, and it says AC on it, roach paste, but it's got an AC number, American Cyanamide. So I'm in a teeny little diner, and the Peaks guys are eating. Over here is the back of it. They serve over here. I have this, and I'm down like this. And I figured somebody's looking at me, so I look up. Nah, they couldn't care less. I turn around, there's a whole bunch of roaches in a crack over there, and they're waving their antennae like crazy. I turn around, take it off, and they're feeding off the tube. My hand is shaking. They're feeding off it. How many people has that happened to, right? Yeah, but I'm the first person in the world to ever see that, And I realized, my God, what I have. Now, do you imagine what it is to come into the industry and say, put away the B&G sprayer, put away the fogging machines and all this, and take this? Are you kidding? We did seminars for 2 years around the country to get people, and then one person would try and say, wow, this is unbelievable. That's what happens. It's and now we're in the phase called beta mania. That's all you want to do is bait, and you can't just do that. But I get this from, in Arizona it won't work because it don't rain in Arizona, they don't sell. But here you got, this covers the rain gutters so the leaves don't go in. You buy that, you cut it, you take your gel, you smear it on here, you take a little piece of fish line through here, and you're hanging it in places like that against walls and voids, and the roaches come up and line up and eat on it. You can't put it in one big pile because they fight each other. put strips, just like you use for birds. You got to line them something. It's cheap. It works. That one I'll save. Got it. Thank you. Okay. The next one is stop being a creature of habit and do the same thing every time you go to the account. You walk in, you go to the same door, you see the same person. You go to the left, you go around, boom, 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 boom. Could you slide my slip now? Because it'll save me time later. Boom. I ran a route for 2 years, okay? So, and I ride with service technicians to this day. At least once every 2 months, I go out with somebody just to stay sharp, know what you're talking about. All right, now, Albert Einstein said it better than me. He said, no problem will be solved by thinking the same way to try to solve it. I'm not as elegant as him. If you have a problem in an account, then ask for help from a technician who knows better than you, a supervisor, the distributor you're buying from, the university, right? There's no disgrace to ask for help. They got 350 million years on you. You're 45, 50, you know, okay? So ask for the help. Now, be careful of beta mania. I'm just baiting, smear, all over, put it. When the bait gets rancid, those hard and that, they get tired of it. Resistance is another problem we'll talk about later. And next is to stay inspired. I have on my desk 2 signs. Be inspired, stay inspired. 2 signs. And I do different things and so forth, and I tell my wife, I got to go do this to get inspired. She says, you have enough energy right now. You just calm down, calm down. I said, no, you don't understand, you know. I'm going to go, I don't know if you saw, but I stood right here in the front and I took notes. I have 2 pages of notes from Paul Bello. What do you mean? He was my student. Yeah, you learn every time. A couple ideas and that. All right? Now, and the next is to care. He showed you why with the health aspects and so forth, but you really do. You do have to care. A nymph goes about 1 foot, adult female 6 feet, adult male 12 feet, about on average, and the female with a capsule 1 foot. So, the female with a capsule goes very little out, the German roach, and stops eating a week or 2 before she drops that capsule. So whatever bait you're using, you're going to have that delay on the German roach. And then they go out and start to eat like crazy, right?
2 weeks they won't eat.
Yeah.
Until they get ready.
If they're in that stage, they carry the capsule for about a month, and they do in the beginning, and then they stop, and then at the end they're hungry again. Now your American roaches, your smoky brown roaches, and how do I know this? It's got Art Appel at Auburn did the research, and he collected lots and lots of roaches, cut them open, studied them from the field. They're constantly hungry. So baits work even better on American roaches. But the distance that American roach goes is longer than this rope. This is it. Somebody want to take that and just run to the back of the room. And remember 3D, up apartment, down apartment. Right?
How long they want?
About 200, 300 yards.
Really?
They don't want to go that far, but if they don't have the food or the harborage, yeah. See that? So they're in somebody else's property. All right, so, and American roaches are really, really sensitive to the environment. I've been in New Orleans, Houston, in front of the United Nations building, Bermuda, and several other places before it rains. And the roaches start running up from the sewers, from the drainage, from the ocean area. They know it's going to rain. And they start moving and bubbling out. And then they go back. On 9/11, when the Twin Towers went down, Manhattan shook. And we think the roaches thought it was an earthquake and ran. And ran up in the buildings, the pipe chase areas, 15 stories, 16, 18, 28 stories. And I work with a number of the pest control operators in the city, big ones, and the phone calls started coming in. American roaches, 20th floor, 18th floor, from that. Yeah, it's really,
So they feel the environment, and then that's when it
right. And what I'm trying to get you to do here is to think like a roach, see? And what you want to do, how many people here are the boss, the owner of the company? Okay. You send a letter to every customer with the technician's name, if they're here, that they attended a seminar on roach, on cockroach control. 2 experts were both from out of town. That makes us experts. And what that does, it toots your horn, the company horn, the technician, and the customer elevates what they think of you, of the profession, of everything. And it's true, okay? And if you want, you take a picture with the roach book with the guy holding something, and, you know. I got a minute, and I got no time, right?
I gave you 10 extra.
Oh, no, that's no good. Okay, so I'm off at this point, and Paul's going on, and then I'll come back. After Paul comes on, we take the light lunch, and then I come back on with some practical tips in approaching different types of accounts. And I'm going to switch over this. Put this on. I can't see the.
How you doing? That's a good answer. So today, I want you to look around the room. Today, I changed the world.
We're getting new markers for you.
You are.
Some good ones.
See that? Today, I changed the world. Because some of you look in front of you, you got a pen and paper, and you're taking notes. Can't just let the women know everything and learn and remember stuff because we have testosterone and our egos won't let us take notes. Right? And I got Dr. Frishman, dragged him down to my level to say, eat shit and die before a mixed audience. Okay. Okay. Let's see. How many people are on Facebook? Don't give me that penguin shit. How you need to see? I can't see. Okay. How many have heard of Pest Cemetery? Pest Cemetery. Okay, you in Pest Cemetery? No, you get in there. It's free. It's a group. It's pest control people talking about pest control stuff, asking questions, and stuff like that. I have my own group. You have to be in Pest Cemetery first. And if you seem like a nice person and all, I'll invite you and you'll get in the PJB private group. Jack, how do we make that projector shit work again? Okay, then let's do something else. Where's that sprayer, Claudia? Okay. Does it only have about like an ounce or two in it now? It's a different one. Okay.
We're not exempt either.
Okay. Okay, who uses this sprayer? Okay. This is like what, the 2-gallon or the 2-gallon? Wow, how much does water weigh per gallon? 8.35 pounds per gallon, right? Yikes. Now you got 16.7 pounds, almost 17 pounds of water that you're carrying around while you're trying to spray, plus the weight of the sprayer. And after about 30 years of doing it, you'll walk around like this. Oh my God, it's a big old sprayer. It's a big old sprayer. But that's okay. Oh, it says fry tag on it. Okay. Because we want to lay down that withering field of fire, kill some serious stuff. Let me look in it here. Who's pretty good at spraying stuff? Who's a good applicator in here? Good, then it's going to be you. What's your name? Nick. My son's Nick. All right? My son, Nick, all right, I need water. We need some water. There's a lot of action photos of me doing this. Okay. Can I get some water from you, Nick? Thanks. I'm going to measure this precisely. One of you guys got to go to the men's room now? So my son Nick, in the 90s when I worked for Zeneca, moved down to Conyers, Georgia, which is east of Atlanta. Damn, I hope that's enough. Where's that black light? Claudia? Yes, where's that? Okay. Well, why don't you get that for me, Alice? Thank you very much. That's the black light we're going to use? Yee. I hope this works. I need some paper towels or something. Okay?
Okay, you're up.
We're up and running. That's good. Are we right where I left off?
Should be.
Okay, Jack. Hey, you know what? We could have a saying for this meeting today. If you weren't at the mosquito board meeting today, then you don't know Jack. How's that? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I wrote on the top of the whiteboard there, you probably can't see it if you're in the back. It says, be selfish. Be selfish. Whether you're an owner, a manager, or an employee, today we are not earning revenue, are we? We're here learning from us two slobs. Instead, right? So when you come to a meeting like this, I want you to be, ooh, look at this. What's your name? Martin. Are you listening to me in stereo or something? Okay. All right. Stand up. Look at this shit. Come on. All right. Ready? Watch. This is like magic. Holy shit. Right? Tell them. You're the witness. You're like Walter Cronkite of what we're seeing here. That's amazing, right? Only I can hear you. You have to tell them.
It's awesome, you guys.
Tell them like you told me.
Boom, it's fucking awesome.
There you go. All right? Okay, so look. Look at what he's seeing. Look. Can you all see that? Wow. Ooh. Who dat? I'm going to be saying that shit all day. Okay? You want to come and see? What's your name? TJ. TJ? Thank you very much. All right? What's TJ telling us? He's being selfish. You come to a meeting like this. All right? Doc, What would you guess you bill out per hour at? Couple $100. He's at a discount. Yeah, when was I out there in Biloxi in the court? You want to see too?
I want to see.
What's your name?
Bugman. I get what bugs you.
See?
That's fine.
What? I'm showing you that. Okay, the iridescent dye. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay? That's what you came up to see, but we're going to do something in a second. So think about this. I want you to be selfish with yourselves. You come to a meeting like this. I'm in court answering questions. You know what they pay me? $450 an hour. 4-hour minimum. You get people like us that know what we're talking about. Come up here and get close. Listen to us. He wrote, what'd you say, 2 pages of notes of what I said? Is there any of them 4-letter words on there? No. Then you didn't get it all. Okay, so, I mean, for me to have him take notes of what I'm saying is, holy crap. It's like, it's pretty cool. I'm highly honored. But you come to a meeting like this, you're investing your own time and your own money. Now, Doc hit on something today that's really important, where you can get some value out of this as a company. What's the name of your company?
Resolve Pest Control.
Resolve Pest Control. You're the owner?
No.
You work there?
Manager.
Manager, okay. How many people are here from your company today?
3.
3.
Counting me.
Counting you. Okay. Anybody ever prepare a press release? Okay, you know what it is. Okay. So you send in to the newspaper. You have a local newspaper in your town?
Yes.
Okay. And on top of it you write, for immediate release. Those 3 words. All right? So we're going to make a press release together right now. For immediate release. What's today's date? January 17, 2019. Where are we? NOLA. Who dat? What's your name, sir?
Gerard.
Gerard? How do I spell Gerard?
G-R-A-R-D.
So G, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Mr. Gerard.
Laborde. L-A-B-O-R-D.
Gotcha. Mr. Gerard Laborde, manager,
Manager.
executive manager of
Resolve Pest Control.
Resolve Pest Control, and 2 others,
Right. Right.
and 2 senior pest control technicians attended the, what do we want to call this, Claudia? What an acronym do you call yourselves? You don't have an acronym? Whatever she said. Pest Management Training Meeting, where world-renowned Dr. Austin M. Frishman, comma, AKA, you know what AKA means? No, ACA. National Geographic, so you can put Nat Geo, Dr. Cockroach, and some schmuck named Paul Bello presented training information on how to control and the importance of cockroaches. You know what the cool thing about press releases are, Gerard? You get to quote yourself. Because you're the one who's fucking writing it. Okay? I forgot the name of your company already.
Resolve.
At Resolve Pest Control, we take our training very seriously, said Mr. Gerard, right? We want our technicians to be the best trained and knowledge-equipped technicians available to the customers in our market. Boom. And if you're smart, you attach a decent picture of you with your other two guys and Dr. Frishman, he's a little shorter, and me, and maybe even holding a picture of the book. And make sure the picture is legible. And then you write a little caption under it, and you say blah, 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 with blah, 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 blah. And if the picture's clear, and at least 300 DPI, your local newspaper will print it. And how much is that advertising worth that you paid zero for? Right? And if you have a website, you put that shizzle on your website. Okay? Because what did you just say? You guys are coming to some of the best training that's available in the market. You take your stuff seriously. Okay? That's bonus information. There you go. Okay, Nick. Come on. Get your sprayer. Alice, where are you at? Okay. You're in charge of the dirt. Wait a minute. We got to get that dirt right first. Okay, we're going to bring this to the back of the room. This has to be level. Let me level that out for you. Nick, don't make it explode. 25 psi or less, please. Now, I don't know if this is actually going to work, boys and girls, because we have a battery-powered blacklight, and my preference is one of those 1495 GE black light sticks so that I can have a 70s flashback with my posters. We are? You seriously have one of those? Oh my God, you guys are so freaking good to me. I'm going to tell you, Nick, I want you to just stand the hell by right now and not do anything and keep an eye on Doc Frishman that he doesn't touch anything that's electronic. Dad? Who's having a good time? I'm having a good time. What's your name?
Ricky.
Ricky. Okay. You know, Ricky, I got to tell you something. Sometimes in my depositions, and you heard me say it here, where the lawyer's starting to piss me off, see, you can't let them know that you're pissed off, Ricky. Right? And he said, I'm sorry, what was your name again, sir? And he says, Dan, do you mind if I call you Dick, Dan? I say stuff like that. You know it's true. I'm going to need a wood pencil. Oh, wait, you're in charge of the dirt. What am I doing? It's a union shop. Take this back to the middle of that area. Lay it on the ground gently so that stays nice and smooth. Okay? Nick, follow her. Don't touch her. Okay. Where's that light? Where's that light? It's coming. You having fun?
I'm having a great time.
Good. All right. Okay. We need the light. Oh my, you guys are, that one. This is the one.
I don't know if that one works.
It's warm. We need an extension cord. You know, these things plug into shit, right?
Right there on the floor.
Oh, no, we ain't doing that. We need a cord.
I got a cord.
We need a cord.
It's coming.
All right, you've been graduated to light. Plug it in and see if it works. Okay, we have to move this table. Perry, can you help out? See, if I know your first name, you get to do stuff. Here, move that out of the way. Now, Claudia, I totally apologize for all this what's about to happen right now. Okay? But we need the video. You're going to want to take pictures and videos of this. I promise. Okay. Now, all y'all, you cannot learn this lesson of what you're going to learn if you stay seated. You need to come back here and make sure everybody can see. Okay? And everybody cross their fingers that this light works. Don't be that close. You having fun?
Having a blast.
Good, good, good. Nick, is that shit going to spray?
Yes.
You sure? Test it out in the trash can. You don't know what's in that freaking water. Let me see it. Let me see it. Let me see it. I don't know if I like this shit, though. Shake it up. All right.
Now it's coming out.
What used to be in this sprayer?
It looks like it says Telstar on it. Yeah, Telstar SC.
Oh, shit. All right, go get some more water.
Okay.
Put the spray down. Put in about this much water, okay?
I'm going to go buy a sink and...
Use the bottle,
Oh, no.
okay? Come on, come on, come on. We're losing money and we're burning daylight. Don't do that. Go get more freaking water. Just let the air out. Holy shit. Is that light working?
I don't know, check my foot.
Here, put it over. Do it in the garbage can. What kind of setup is that? I don't see nothing glowing, do you? All right, Nick, don't do anything. Don't move. Don't move. All right, you guys just hang out and talk amongst yourselves. Okay?
There we go.
Okay, let me see. Let me see. Hold the sprayer. Hold the nozzle. Doc, you having fun?
I'm enjoying myself.
You're enjoying yourself. That means you're having fun, right, Doc? All right, what's the point spread for this week? Do you guys know? 3.5. Saints are favored 3.5. Now, last time they played, Saints beat the Rams, right? Yes? You guys are alive out there, right? Okay. All right. This is going to totally tick me off if this don't work. Okay, ready? Too bad they didn't have a bigger sprayer for it.
That's a 5-gallon barrel.
Who the heck uses a 2-gallon sprayer anymore? Don't tell Claudia I'm mad that this is 2 gallons and not 1. I know she can't hear me. Okay, I think we're good. Let me see this. Alice, you ready for me with that black light? Nick, are you right the fuck behind me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Over here, Alice. Let me see something. Ready? Black light. Come on, baby. Everybody does it. Really? Nick, we need more water, please. Jesus Christ. Yeah. I know it was hard to hear me with the microphone and everything.
We're getting a jug of water.
What's that? And I just need a little.
That's what you said last time.
I know, but you know what? The dip tube of this sprayer is too far from the bottom. There you go. Thanks, bud. Okay. Over here with that light. Wait a minute, I got this. Try that right there. Ooh, there you go. There you go. Doctor, it burns when I pee. So I was telling you about my son Nick, right? Right, Nick?
Yes, sir.
Okay, come on over here. And he...
That's it.
There we go. This is my happy face. Okay, we need to turn the lights off. Okay. Now, and we got the wood pencil too? Alice, that's not your job. You look at someone else sternly as if it was their responsibility. Okay, now, everybody can see, right? Okay, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to evenly apply the flat fan spray over the soil, which is sand, in this container.
Okay.
Don't get any of that stuff
On the outside.
on the floor. Okay? Alice, slide over here, get close. Okay, what you're going to do is illuminate that spray. Here comes my
Wow.
wood pencil. Thank you, Sean. Okay, now, whatever you do, don't let any of that spray touch you. Okay? Are you ready? No, dude, if you're up that high, that ain't going to work. You get kind of like, you want to be like
Okay.
12 to 16 inches, okay?
Okay.
All right, now, do you know why I tell you all this shit?
To learn?
No, because it's fun for them.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Alice, I was just kidding about don't let the stuff get on you. This is Pylam green dye DNC number 8 that's used in pharmaceuticals and makeup and stuff like that. But it glows in the dark under a black light, okay? And that's helping us to learn something. All right? When I tell you to stop, just stop.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
What's your name again? Trey. If he doesn't stop, you wrestle him to the ground.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Everybody ready? Okay, go ahead. Look how nice that glows, Claudia, huh? This is freaking awesome. We getting this all on video, Jack? No. Jesus Christ on the cross. Oh, they don't swivel? That's enough. Stop. Okay, put your gun in the holster. Holster your weapon. Okay, ready? Take the pencil. Now, what's your full name?
Nicholas Sauve.
Is there a middle initial?
Paul.
That's what I want to know.
Yes, sir.
Okay, listen to the questions. Answer the question that's asked. What's your full name, sir?
Nicholas Paul Sauve.
Okay, good. Now, what I want you to do, as large as this is write your initials. Now, just for your personal edification, that will be the letters N, P, and S, right?
Yes, sir.
So I want to see a big N, P, and S written across there. Are you filming this, Claudia? Stop. I didn't tell you to do it yet. No, you need to come over here and film this because this is the important part. You can walk right in here and kneel down. Get down low. Get close. You can't see it from there, I promise. No one said crawl across the floor. Okay, ready? You ready? Can you see it? Can you see it well?
Got it. I'm filming.
Okay, ready, Nick?
Yes.
Remember, N-P-S.
I got it.
I have literally
Got it,
had people
Coach.
look at me and say, how do you spell N? Okay, ready?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. Woo! Everybody give me a hand. Okay, everybody go back and sit down. Lights on, let's go. Let's go learn something. That was it. How was that, fun? Okay, good. Okay, come on, we're burning daylight. That was fun for a little while, right? You ready to learn something? Yes. What did we see? What did we see? Aside of that I'm a smart ass and all that stuff, what did you see happen? He's spraying that. That's green dye. That's iridescent when the black light hits it, right? But what did you see? Okay. What else? What? What happened? When he wrote his initials, what happened? Yeah. Okay, now when I do this, I usually do it under a more measured situation where I know exactly. I try to calculate 10 gallons per 1,000 square feet. So now let's say we're trying to control American roaches, smoky browns we have, and you guys have Asians that live out in the turf, and we're doing perimeter treatments to keep the ants out, millipedes, crickets, all that kind of stuff, right? But the ants come back, or the roaches come back. How does that happen? How does that happen? You learned it earlier today. How do they beat us? How do they beat us? What's that? There's a lot of them, right? And we're firing out how much? A limited amount. We have a limited dose, right? And where are those roaches and ants and millipedes and crickets on July 17th in New Orleans at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? Are they sitting up on top of the surface working on their tan so that you can come and hit them with that spray? No. They're down deep, right? The roaches hide, they get down into mulch and stuff, right? They get down into leaf litters where they can feed on all the organic matter that they can find in there. And what Nick showed us and Alice with the black light is that what we're applying out there is paper thin, and we applied way more than 10 gallons per 1,000 because I had to fill up that sprayer so much, right? Now, the other thing we have to learn is, who shook my hand? There you are. Now, we did left hand, right?
Yeah.
Because, look,
Oh.
there's chemicals, right? Now, I do this as a training class. Look, hold your hand up here where everybody can see? Wow. And I do this early in a class. I stopped doing it because it's embarrassing. Where I shake people's hand as they come in. And then later I do the black light, and we see who's scratching their junk and who's picking their nose and stuff because of the black light. So I had to stop doing it, okay? Because I'm in Georgia and I realize who I'm dealing with, okay? Told you I want you to have fun and you'll remember this stuff. Now, here's what's the important thing about taking notes. When you just hear something, and if you're studying, does anybody have to take an exam coming up for anything? For like certification? Or how many people are thinking about doing the ACE exam? You know what it is? The Associate Certified Entomologist? Is there any BCEs in the room besides him? The ACE exam, right? Are you guys BCEs? Eric and Sean? But you're qualified to do it, right? You have a degree in entomology, right? Okay, so you have a college degree, 4-year degree, you can do it. So what you guys, I'm going to hand you this football, okay? Either you or your team here at the mosquito control board, work with these guys to help them learn and study to pass their ACE exam. Okay? You guys could do that, right? So the Associate Certified Entomologist program, you take that exam, and now, instead of just being a pest control professional licensed in Louisiana like everybody else, you also have passed an accreditation program. Right? Doc, you think that's a good idea? Yeah, definitely, he said, right? He's the one that's making me do it for myself. So, you study, you take that exam. Now, let's talk about a little bit about studying. When you highlight in a book and read stuff over and over again, psychologists who specialize in studying how the human mind works and how we learn will tell you that you have to read stuff over and over again like 10 times to memorize it. And you only memorize it for a short period of time. But when you write things down, you remember it faster because you are engaging more neurons and more nerves in your body to write something than you are to just read it. Because my brain has to tell my fingers and the muscles in my wrist and arm to write something. So I have more of me engaged in it. I got skin in the game. And that's why you take notes. And think about this guy. Many people in the industry will tell you he's at the top of the game. And how long are you in the industry now, Doc? 62 years. And what, you're like about, what, 50 years old or something? Okay? And he still sits in the front at every meeting and takes notes. You be that guy too. You be a student of the game, and you be smarter than the other guy. And people are going to know it the way you speak. Okay? One of the reasons that I'm able to do what I do, and because, look, we're behind the curtain here. I'm here to entertain you guys, plus teach you some stuff. So I'm going to say it way different than when I'm getting $450 an hour. Right? I'm barely going to say a 4-letter word in court, which means never. Okay? All right, so let's get back to what I'm supposed to be teaching you. All that other stuff was bonus. Anything else about the black light demonstration you want to know? Yes, sir.
So as long as the residual is covering the ground, it's all a patient waiting game.
Okay, all right. Well, there's a couple things that happen. One is, when we put out the dose, it's only enough dose to kill so many critters. And when you look at the label, and what are the, let's say you're doing a perimeter treatment around somebody's house, and do you guys actually do that? You use granules or sprays or whatever. What kind of bugs are you trying to control? Okay. Tell me. Ants. What else? Roaches. Earwigs. Millipedes. Roly-polies. What are those? Sow bugs and pill bugs. Spiders. Anything else? Earwigs. We got, and ticks sometimes. Fleas and ticks, maybe? Okay. What I want you to do is look at the label of the product opposite those pests. Because what you're going to find out is the labeled rates are different for the different kind of animals. Crickets and ants are easy to kill as individuals. In fact, I can show them the label of some of these products and they'll die. Right? They're just so easy to kill. They need the very lowest rates. So if the chemical guy says, oh yeah, if you use this product, you only have to mix this much and you can do 37 acres. Yeah, only for ants and crickets, because they're the easiest to kill. But if I'm also having to kill spiders or ticks or whatever, scorpions, you guys have scorpions here like we do? No. Okay. But those kind of critters take the highest labeled rate. And now I don't have enough chemical to spray 37 acres. I have enough to spray 4 acres. So it's cost per gallon or cost per treated area is something that a guy like me wants to know about, because not only am I an entomologist and have all this training in pest control, I have an MBA in accounting, and I want to make money on purpose and not by accident, right? So don't force the chemical to do more work than it can do. Don't stretch the chemical too far, right? Okay, let's go back to where we are on here. We go in these people's houses, and this is a test house where I'm testing numbered compounds. And I don't think Erin's in the room anymore, but she was talking about where she was doing a test, and we have some control apartments where there's nasty roaches, and you know that you're using this placebo. We're not spraying any chemicals or using bait with real active ingredient in that person's house. We know it. We can't tell them. I hate when I have to do that, right? Because I'm not putting any chemical out because I have to have a control. I don't like that whole control thing. Let me tell you why. It's kind of like, I call it the rabbit eye test. Rabbits, you know, like bunny rabbits, okay? And back in the day, one of the tests that was required for us when we were developing chemical compounds is to spray it on a live rabbit's eye to see if it would damage the eye tissue. I don't have to do that as a scientist. I can look at the chemical profile. I know what the pH of this chemical is. I know it's going to like just acid burn the eye, right? Why do I have to do that? I know it by science. Well, because EPA requires it. And you just want to, right? So they don't do that anymore, but they did when I was a kid, you know, back in the day. So this is one of the apartments that I was in that was getting the fake stuff. And the product I was testing 2 different products for bear at the time. One of them was Max Force Magnum bait, and the other one became temperate. And I had to use it at different rates and stuff to see what worked best. All right? But this lady's house, I mean, this is supposed to be a white bowl. That's roach feces all over it, right? See how we got smarter and we're getting nicer at the end of the presentation? I'm underscoring that we're saying roach feces. Feces, you have to just let it just roll off the tongue. Feces. But she's getting the placebo here. And thankfully for her, her glasses are like thick like the bottom of Coke bottles. And she doesn't even know she has roaches that bad. And she's saying, would you like a cup of coffee? I don't want coffee I can chew. Right? So I said, no, thank you. Right? But I promised. I'm working with a local pest control company because it's their account. And we're going to come back, me and this kid, Chris Newberry, we are coming back here in December, and we are de-roaching this lady's apartment. That's my Christmas gift to her. It makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing. Okay? Doc talked to you about bait with American roaches. You see the American roaches there? There's a video, I think. You can't make the videos play from here. This is Mike McGinnis. You know him, Doc? Okay. See the roaches? This is the rail siding of a chicken feed plant in Athens, Georgia. So behind us is the train tracks. And the train car pulls up there, and those barn doors above the rail siding, they open up, and that's how they offload the feed. But that metal, it's like angle iron that goes around the concrete and the brick to protect it from getting broken, and the roaches are all up under there, American roaches. And he's using Larvalor in one of those green dusters, bulb dusters, and pumping it out. And I'm there because I'm really there to film the rats, because they have a grain elevator. That means that they have the storage thing up in the air where they pump all the food. And the metal floor, you're not allowed to go above the 3rd floor, and it goes up 8 stories. And I'm up there with my work boots, and the rat droppings are this deep. Everything above the 3rd floor, because no one's been above the 3rd floor in many years. And the rats are living up there and coming down and feeding on the feed at night when the people stop working. And one of the things I was really trying to do, with politic to do, is come there at night with my infrared and my pellet rifle so I could shoot them. Because that's a lot of fun if you've never done it. Okay, who's done it? You've done it? Yeah. It is fun, isn't it? Yeah, the rats don't like it very much. Okay, so, a couple things. I showed you what happens with your hands. Remember this, the roaches are running around in people's kitchen cabinets. They're getting on their plates, their dishes, their utensils, cups, food prep bowls, pots and pans. And this is some of the stuff that the rats carry. The roaches are carrying. E. coli, Staphylococcus, Streptococcus, Salmonella, Shigella, MRSA, and other good stuff. I'm really lucky. I got to go speak to the American Association of Epidemiologists in Chicago. They probably had 300 people there, and they invited me to come speak to them about bed bugs in long-term health facilities. And I got up to the podium to speak to all these doctors and nurses people, and I said, I've told my colleagues and even Dr. Frishman, I said, I'm honored to be here, but I'm going to be the least educated person in this room. And they're talking to me. They want to know what's happening with bed bugs and what can we do, because bed bugs are in hospitals now and elder care facilities where people are not mobile anymore and bedridden, and it's bad. So the person who came after me was the Illinois Director of Health, the ranking member in the health department for the state of Illinois, and her first slide was, there's WRSA, then MRSA. And what that means is, MRSA is, I forget how to say it, but it's metarhizium or something. There you go, okay? So there's something, with MRSA, they have a really good chance of curing you. and healing you with the medications that we have today. But there's something called CREs, which are related to the pneumonia pathogen, which with CREs, I think it kills a pretty high percentage of the people who get it. CRE. You can look it up. It's choreo something, okay? I forget. But it's not good. Now, where do you get MRSA and CREs? Where do you get them? Doc already told you the same concept. Remember he said roaches come from roaches? You get MRSA where MRSA is. We are literally breeding MRSA in the healthcare facilities because we're using all these antibiotics and selecting for the resistant strains, right? Dennis, do you know what the CREs, have you ever heard of them before? Okay. It's a good thing to know. People are impressed when we know about the stuff that kills us, right? So why am I telling you this? Why am I arming you with this information and that other information about people who died and stuff? Why do you need to know that? Am I telling you just for you, Nick?
No.
Who am I telling you for? For your customers and you, right? If it's you and you're dealing with roaches, you got to wash your hands and stuff, right? Did you already go wash your hands off? See? Because she knows what the kind of guy I am, and God knows where I've been, right? Okay? So we're touching all this stuff all the time in our work. How many just did a mouse job or a rat job this past week? And once in a while, you pick up the traps and it had a rat or a mouse in it, right? Did you have your gloves on?
Yes.
Did you take your gloves off?
Yes.
How'd you take your gloves off? Because once you take your gloves off, now I got my glove off of this hand, now I got to take the glove off the other hand with my bare fingers. So we got to do that carefully. So you know what I do when I'm in a nasty situation? I wash my hands before I take my gloves off if I'm touching nasty shit. Like that apartment that I wrote my initials in the mouse pellets on the floor so I could take a picture of that. See, if I was doing a rodent talk, you guys have seen that. Okay? That's why I'm washing my hands before I take my gloves off. Right? And don't pick your nose with them gloves on. Right? So think about this. Gerard, we're going to help you out, okay? You know why? Because you're sitting in the front. What's the name of the company again?
Resolve pest control.
Yeah, I'm actually going to write that. Resolve Pest Control. What should we call it, Doc? Tech. Let's call it the Tech Alert. And what do you do with this Tech Alert? Well, you give it to your techs, but it's for your customers. Blah, 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 blah. Infection and cockroaches. And you say, when you're dealing with pests, and if you have cockroaches in your house, they carry diseases. Don't scare them with all the diseases, but tell them what to do. Make sure that you wash your pots and pans and blah, blah, and your food prep services and yada, yada, yada. Right? And how did we blend this in and make it nice? We talk about the cold and flu season. We talk about when someone sneezes, and you can find this online, how fast that spittle goes and how far it goes in miles per hour. Right? And people are carrying germs, and that's how you get sick, especially you with young children that go to elementary school. Right? And then you give them good tips, and you mix in the cockroach stuff and wash your hands, because that's why we at Resolve Pest Control take these matters very seriously and arm you as our customers with this important information. Right? You should have that on a sheet. Yes, sir. I'm a half hour over. That's because I gave you an extra 10 freaking minutes. Right? How are we doing, Claudia? You're in charge. Okay, I can handle reality. All right, should we just stop, or what do you think? Wait, whoa, 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 whoa. The people are in charge. I'm for the people. Okay? What do we got next? Lunch. That's what you're saying. Okay. I'm sorry that we're over, but I had to give you an extra at least 10 minutes of Dr. Frishman. Okay? Because he told me at this time, tell me it's 5 more minutes. And I'm like, that shit's written in the sand for me. Okay? Because these folks may never get a chance to see you again, and I want you to talk all day. Right? Okay. You're in charge now.
Awesome. All right, now we're going to take a few minutes break, right, to have some lunch.
Wash your hands first.
Look, we're going to come back in 30 minutes. This is a snack. All right. And so that way we can come back, and if we go over a few minutes after 1, I don't think it's a big deal, right? We're here. Awesome. All good. So take your time, but be back here 1:45.